Hello everyone and welcome to the Deveeyv, and in this learn log I will talk about the health system or the basics. So I need to say this video or this system, this learn log will be divided in two because I didn't verified my channel, so I couldn't upload the videos greater than 15 minutes. So I really need to do this. I will do this later. Okay, so in this part of the video I will just talk about the theory behind the health system. Okay, I need to say two things before. First, I will try hard. I will work harder to make and do my best to make the videos on the channel a bit with a higher quality, because on the last video I liked the video at all, so because if I didn't I wouldn't upload it, but I am kind of a bit unsatisfied mainly on the audio, so I will try hard to make the things better and be on my best. Okay, and the second thing, and this the health system is based everything on what I already know, because I think, as I said, I already have a technology course on the IT, and I'm doing the computer science on the university, so I am basically a developer, and I tried a lot of things on the Unity before this, but I would like to relearn this on this learn log and this channel. It's because of this, but I tried to do this health system based on I already know, so I don't have any link reference or a tutorial reference to set to link on the description, else the text fade out code. I have seen this on some forum. Okay, so let's get started. There are tons of different health systems. If you get different games, you will see each one have some particular thing. So if you get the Super Mario World, if you get Sonic, League of Legends, Counter-Strike, Hyper Light Drifter, Graveyard Keeper, and etc., you will see, and so on, you will see each game has have its own health system. There is a base, but each one has something particular. So in the health system we have two sides. In one side we have damage, counting, and death. So in the one side we have damage, and the damage's main root is basically you end on the damage. You have basically two types: extend and overtime damage. On the extend damage, you will deal the damage at once. So if I have for example an X, and this X deal 15 damage, I will deal to the monster, to the creature, less 20 less 15 of health, right? Or if I, for example, have a critical strike and 100, I will deal 100 damage at once on this creature. And on the stand damage, I can, and in the damage we can like consider defense, armor, defense, bulletproof vest, reflect, etc., but we will deal the damage at once. And the overtime damage, we will do this and overtime, as the name suggests. So you can take the pattern, for example, of every 1 second, every half of second, every quarter of second, and you can deal damage over time by burning, by poisoning, by bleeding, by drowning, with the turns, etc. So you have a lot of possibilities, but we can fit them on two, stunt and overtime. And not only this, we have the hit and on-hit patterns, because we have the collision on the Unity. Mainly we have the collision and the trigger. So we have the on enter collision, on stay collision, and exit collision and trigger. So you need to know which one you will use. I recommend use on the instant damage for the enter, collision or trigger, and overtime to stay. On exit, you will use only on a specific situation. And obviously you can have different patterns for different things. For example, you can have a platform floor heated by something, and when the temperature of this floor it's so high, it starts to deal damage. And if the platform it's cooled, won't deal damage. And this is the damage routes. And now it's count routes. The count is basically we need to show to the player what is life for it. So you can have, for example, health counting, you can have a health bar, you can have a time remaining, you can have an oxygen, you can have, for example, passes of a Deveeyv, etc. You need to have something to show to the player it's kind of health. And if this, for example, surpass some value, or it's less than a 0, for example, the player will die. So you need basically to say to the player what is life. And finally we have the death routes. The death route is basically if the game is hardcore, so if the player die once the game ends, or if there is a respawn on a mechanic, resurrection mechanic, if the player, for example, is less than 0 life and the player fall and but can get up with the help of some partner or other player. So basically you need to say which interaction with the death the player will have. In most part of the games, if the player have some chances, and if this chance is equals 0, the game's end, and then if you restart all the way. And obviously we have the second side of the health system, but this side it's kind of messy, because in that side we can have the regeneration, invincibility, damage and defense, block, damage or recovery, the missing health. We can use potions to heal, or basically that side is described by this damage can be modified in some way. How can I work with this damage in some way? So we have the one side with the damage count and death, and the other side with the regeneration, visibility, damage and defense, damage reduction, missing health, and etc. So all these things you need to set it on the design, on the game, the modeling, because this part it's important to set before you start coding. That's why this health system has different videos. Okay, so in the next video I will show on the Unity how I did this. Okay, so thanks for watching, and I see you in the next video. Bye bye and see ya.